And again, this is the UMBC hosted post-Turkey Day tournament, and over here in this top corner we have Jisooperman. He is the one that chose this map. He is currently down one game versus Slafter, his Terran opponent, who is spawned over here in the top right-hand corner of Tal'Darim Altar. And we were talking about this map earlier. The MLG version actually has a land bridge here, just narrow enough for a Stalker to see and hop over this ledge. This does give Protoss players a slight advantage against Terran players on this map, so we chose to use the Blizzard ladder version. It also has the rocks at the natural expansion here. The original version actually only has one gas here and no rocks at this expansion, making it easier for Zerg to macro up. Looks like Slafter is going to be walling in his front, and our Protoss player throwing down his first pylon in the confines of his own base. So he's definitely wanting to play a macro game here, chrono boosting probes as well. So we'll see exactly how he plays out this match here, and it'll be interesting to see what these two players decide to do. Being a macro map, you can actually try to metagame your opponent by going for a very quick one-base build, and we'll see if that's what Slafter decides to do, or if that's something that Jisooperman has in his mind. But there's the gas coming up. And otherwise, this map does allow for pretty long games, Terran versus Protoss. Both races are evenly matched. The SCV is going to be passing towards this area. It looks like the probe did not stop at the watchtower, and it will scoot on by, sees the barracks being built at the front, and then SCV does come to the front to meet that probe to make sure it does not do any damage against his SCV's building any structures. There's the gas up and running, and what will tell Jisooperman if this is going to be a 1-1-1 build is if there are multiple Marines out in the field and a gas. So he sees the gas right now. He's going to be able to scout around here, see if he can keep the probe alive, but it looks like he's been walled in, and Slafter is going to be making sure to not show him any extra Marines to make sure that Jisooperman is in the dark as much as possible, because with that gas you can actually go Hellions, you could go multiple racks, etc. And there's Jisooperman's gas being mined and his cybernetics core coming up. It's still going to be hard to tell what our Protoss player is trying to do right now, because Slafter has this SCV inside of his base, and usually you do want to chase that SCV out without giving away too much, especially building the second gas. So what will tell us what Jisooperman is trying to do is, after he kills off this SCV, we'll probably see him either take a gas or throw down multiple gateways. And being that this is not a ramp, it'll be easy to do a 4-gate. I'm not sure if that's something that he wants to do. And there's a factory coming up and the gas. So we are going to be seeing a fast starport here shortly, and there's the bunker on the way. And if there's a tech lab going down here, it means we will see Banshees. And there's the Stalker out in the field. We'll kill off that SCV. And the probe is getting ready to throw down additional gateways. There's gateways 2 and 3. He needs to get a robotics facility because he doesn't really know what his opponent is doing. And there's the starport coming up and the tech lab. So we are going to be seeing Cloaked Banshee out in the field. I think he's mined plenty of gas to be able to do a Cloaked Banshee build. He did pause making SCVs for just a split second, so I believe that was just simply a mistake. SCV continues to scoot about the map. Looks like the Protoss player has taken pretty strong map control out here. Several Stalkers as well as probes checking the grounds over here. There's even a pylon checking for a natural expansion. And there's a Hellion out in the field. And the starport is switching over to the tech lab. Jisooperman getting out his 3 gateways off of 1 gas, and it looks like he will be expanding. His expansion is a tad bit late, and there's the Hellion coming up. We'll begin roasting that probe away. He needs to warp in a couple of units here. It looks like the wall in with those pylons, and will stop the the Hellion from getting inside of there to be able to do any scouting. Looks like the 2 Stalkers running across the field will be able to try to poke in here and see what's going on. The starport over here with the first Banshee making, as well as the cloak coming up. Looks like the Stalkers do see what's going on over here, but He doesn't really know what's coming out, and there's the Banshee coming forward. He can actually pick that off. He needs to pick it off. He doesn't have a robotics facility right now. He's just going for the bunker, and it looks like the bunker will fall, and the two Marines popping out here will get killed off, and the Banshee backing up will be able to get repaired. The wall may fall. There's nothing in these bunkers. Looks like the bunker does complete. There's only 2 Marines, so he may be able to bust in here. Once Cloak finishes, though, this will be the end of this push. Looks like the Marine does get taken, almost taken out. There's the second bunker up and running. There's also an SCV repairing away. Another Marine does pop out. Will be able to join that bunker. No, it looks like the bunker does fall. Cloak is complete. Looks like the 2 Banshees will be able to work away on those Stalkers, but they only have a limited amount of energy, and they can also be repaired. The Stalkers and the 2 Zealots getting in here to be able to do tons of damage. Jisooperman not making a robotics facility. That's what he needs to do. He's making a forge right now. That's a great choice as well. He will be able to get up that static defense to be able to stop those Banshees from doing a huge amount of damage to his base. These 2 Banshees up to many kills. Corporal Banshees here. And over here, the Stalkers warping in, and a single SCV checking for this expansion. He's got the Forge finishing up. The Banshee's not quite yet moving out across the field. I don't like this from Slafter. The longer he waits, the more time he gives to Jisooperman to be able to build up the necessary forces to defend against these cloaked Banshees. He's even building a missile turret right now. Not sure what's up with that, but the robotics facility is also on the way for Jisooperman. A bunch of cannons coming up. This will allow him to defend against those Banshees, but the Banshees can still work away at these gateways, which is why I'm saying you need a robotics facility to be able to get out those observers so you can spot your entire base, and this also prevents Jisooperman from moving out until he does have an observer. 2 cloaked Banshees are moving towards that mineral line. Looks like they will get into range of shooting down a couple of probes from that assimilator, and the cloak going down. Looks like the Stalkers and the Sentry are going to be forced to retreat to that cannon, and the 2 Banshees will be able to work away at this nexus here. An observer is on the way, and it will be able to pop out in time, possibly to save that nexus. Yeah, it has plenty of HP. The observer is almost complete, and Slafter is very far behind. He's only got 35 food. If he forces a cancel here, though, he will be even, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's the observer popping out. 2 Banshees not able to do enough damage. They are taking down some of the health on that nexus, but not able to take it down. There's the Stalker force reinforcing here, taking out the first Banshee. The second Banshee will get away with a 90 HP. And this pylon's still doing a great job of spotting Raven out in the field as well. Looks like Slafter doing a little bit of a funky build right now. He's got a second starport finishing up. He's floating his command center out here. The pylon will soon spot the SCVs mining, and there's the SCVs transferring over. Let's take a look to see what he sees here. Yep, he sees the mining going on at this location. He knows that his opponent has taken his expansion as well, and Jisooperman is in a very strong position in this game. He got his expansion up sooner. He's got the second gas coming up, third gas coming up. He also has superior, well, no, he has similar tech because Banshees are out in the field, but Slafter needs to be switching them over to. Interesting, he's getting a tech lab here. Usually you would get out some Vikings and medevacs to bolster your army in this case. He's also getting a planetary fortress when he's behind. Ooh. Well, Jisooperman doing a pretty good job here of defending himself right now. He's got a second observer out on the field. He needs to send one over here to see what's going on. The planetary fortress does finish up, and this will do nothing for Slafter's mining operation here. He's only got 1 mule to drop, and mules are what allows you to keep up with Protoss Chrono Boost on workers, as long as Jisooperman continues to Chrono Boost workers, which he has done a great job of spending his money. So he's in a very strong position. I think we'll be seeing him push real soon. He's keeping his money nice and low, going to be getting up some additional observers right now. and it looks like he's getting those out so that he doesn't get any of his observers sniped. Looks like Slafter is going full out Sky Terran right now. Very interesting from Slafter, but I don't think this is going to be enough to get him back into this game. Slafter getting out another Raven. He's also got the Corvid reactor on the way. This will give him that extra energy for the Raven. It looks like he will begin working down at this expansion over here. He does have that Viking to be able to pick off those observers. Looks like one observer does fall, so those extra observers are completely necessary. He needs to snipe down that Viking before it takes out those observers. And here comes Slafter's forces. Looks like a point defense drone does go down. The two observers running forward. They are getting a little bit out of position. That Viking can turn around and snipe those observers. They need to get out of there. One observer does fall. He needs to get additional observers out in the field to stop this. The Viking is the crucial component to this push right now. Once that Viking goes down, there's no stopping the Protoss forces. There are 3 Banshees. They remain cloaked, so they will be using up a lot of that energy right now. Additional Stalkers warping in, and Slafter going to be able to come in here and do some additional damage. And the point defense drone here still remains going to be able to stop those Stalkers from doing plenty of damage. What this is, yeah, there we go, destroy it. And the Sentry's also doing some damage as well. Looks like Slafter is going to be forced to fall back. Additional Zealots being warped in for jisooperman. He's also got his Robotics Bay on the way. He will be able to get those Colossus up soon. There's a single probe remaining to attack those rocks, and a 3rd command center is being constructed by Slafter. There's also the Hunter Seeker missile right now, and I really think jisooperman's response to this is not to tech himself, it's just to go for the kill. With all of this tech here from Slafter, it's just going to be too difficult for him to hold off a mass Gateway Army Chrono Boost going down on those gateways right now. He's got plenty of money to be able to throw down another base right now. And the Banshee's now destroying those rocks at a very rapid pace. Banshee scouting the edges to make sure there are no spotters over there, no pylons able to warp in and harass his base. And jisooperman is in such a defensive position. I really don't like this. He needed to go check out what his Terran opponent is doing, and the longer this takes, the better position that Slafter is going to be in. Colossus halfway complete, as well as the extended thermal lance. The funny thing is that Slafter actually has no Marines out in the field. He only has 1 barracks, and they're coming out one at a time. So Colossus, not exactly the best choice against the Sky Terran build here. Looks like another warp in will allow him to take down these rocks and get his 3rd expansion relatively quickly. He needs to get Blink up to be able to deal with this mass amount of units right now. Our Protoss player is actually going for a very early shields upgrade. Not too sure about that. Looks like he may be testing out a new build here or something of that sort. Durable materials being researched and the Terran building armor. This is so funky. It looks like a probe does get sniped over there. jisooperman should know that his opponent has gone all out Sky Terran. He could actually counter this completely with just Phoenixes, since Phoenixes do completely own Vikings. They build faster than Vikings, and Banshees can't exactly shoot up. So we'll see what his response is after his probe was sniped off by a cloud of Banshees. Looks like not too much on the way right now. He's still getting Colossus out onto the field. The Ravens have joined up. They do have the upgrades all complete. Hunter Seeker missile and the durable materials and the Terran building armor. Looks like he will be able to begin attacking this base. The photon cannons are up, but the point defense drone's going down. Very nice job here. Banshees do cloak against the cannons, which do detect. And there comes the forces of jisooperman trying to get into position, but the Stalker shots being completely stopped by all of these point defense drones. Looks like the Colossus will fall. This is what I mean by you don't really need a Colossus in this case. And jisooperman just getting stuck here with the sentries and the Zealots, unable to walk forward. All of his cannons did fall except for 1. And there's the Twilight Council now finishing up, getting his 3rd base up and running. However, Terran does have his up and running as well. The one thing going for jisooperman is that Slafter keeps building these planetary fortresses. managed to cancel down on that pylon. And the cloud of point defense drones here able to defend against all of those stalkers. And this is such a funky game. High-sec auto-tracking on the way for Slafter as well, so that's going to give all of his stuff extra range. This is such a funky build here. There's the huge Terran, Sky Terran build coming out here. Looks like the Banshee's beginning to work away on all of those cannons. Down they fall so quickly, and Slafter able to get a huge advantage with just this mobility, and it's going to probably force jisooperman to feel like he needs to go all in, and that may be what he's doing right now. There's that Marauder getting cleaned up, and there's the Sky Terran force being forced to pull back right now. Blink is only halfway complete, and here comes the huge push from jisooperman. His army is larger. He still has those 2 observers. He just needs to make sure they do not get sniped off, and he will be in a great position. The observers are flying over a precarious position. It looks like the Protoss force is now advancing against this position over here. The 2 observers in a bad position. Once that Colossus falls, those 2 observers will get targeted, and tons of point defense drones down for Slafter, and that prevents all of the stalker shots. And the Banshee is now working away, and the bunker getting taken down. All of the Protoss anti-air getting sniped down. There's still plenty of these point defense drones. Looks like they are out of energy, but the Vikings in the air and the planetary fortress holding position. jisooperman GG's out of this game, and the series has been taken by Slafter. There was a game 1 that was won by Slafter. jisooperman was the one that chose this map, and we're going to be headed to possibly the next round. We'll see what's going on over there. Slafter does advance to the round of 16.